Welcome, everyone. Dr. Anthony Criniti IV here, also known as Dr. Finance. You're on the Dr. Finance Live podcast, special Mastermind Retreat edition, folks. This is from the retreat we had in Paradise Valley, Arizona. We had Mark Victor Hansen, Crystal Hansen, Sharon Lecter, Angela Totman, just to name a few big names that were there. And we have our next attendee who's going to tell his story, and is Michael Fedyk, one of loyal Clubhouse supporter, great fan, great executive director as well. So Michael, welcome to our special retreat. How are you, sir?
I'm great, better now. Always good to see you, Dr. Finance. And it was a pleasure to meet you at Paradise Valley. Wow. And of course, Mark Victor Hansen, Crystal, Preston, Sharon Lecter, and everybody that attended.
Thank you, Michael. And I can say the same thing as well. So I appreciate you coming. It was great to see you finally. Michael and I have been on stages for over 2 years, I guess, Mike, right? So it was just really good to get to connect with you in person and hang out with you, beat you in foosball. You beat me in foosball. I mean, it worked out well.
That was great.
But how about who was it? Brandon, he turned out to be like a ringer. He beat everybody.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He was good. Yeah, it was great.
So Michael, if you could tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the retreat. I mean, basically, what did you think about the Mastermind retreat I held with Preston Weeks in Paradise Valley, Arizona, in a $10 million mansion with all those great folks? What was your thoughts?
It was an amazing, first of all, the setting was good, but it was an amazing group of people. I mean, you had a, really cool setting, which was fine, but I felt that the people that were there were better, quality group of people, and just happened to have a good setting around people, with the people there. Everybody brought their own qualities, I thought. Some people, were more vocal than others. Overall, it was a really good turnout of people to get to know in a more intense, close, one-by-one type of environment than you would be listening to a recording, going on a platform like Clubhouse. It is something special about having face-to-face and human connection or contact, as opposed to speaking on a phone call and a Zoom on a podcast, right? So that way it was good. I'm still wearing my sunglasses from Paradise Valley. No, I'm not. But sorry, I have a glare, so where I am right now, so I'll put these on. Giving you the pitbull look today. Yeah.
So Michael, is this the famous location where you attend most of my Clubhouse stages that you're always like, I'm in a, you don't have to say the name of the place, but I'm in such and such a place. Is this the place?
This is one of the places I am in. Yeah, and I will say this, like where I'm living right now, I've had some, my body says I have some toxic air issues. So I made the decision to work out of a cafe basically right now. And it was the best decision financially in my life. Yeah.
That's incredible. Thank you, Michael. So Michael, we're actually getting double promotional. You asked me about marketing. You're already a marketing genius. You're sitting in a coffee shop and hey, everybody, Dr. Finance Live podcast, right? Like you're telling everybody about it. I love it. And that's the thing, like you probably got about hundreds of people that circulate through there if you sit there for an hour, right? Like they're all getting free publicity. This is all free publicity, right? It's a bonus.
Absolutely. If you haven't heard about Dr. Finance and his podcast with millions of listeners, you should listen to him. Come on, who wants to read Survival of the Wealthiest? That's a given. It's a good book that you should read. I have not read it yet, but I get the feedback of, I'm going to tell you why. I haven't read a lot of books yet. Hard to read in my place, anything right now. So I'm more listening to audio. And that's one of the great things about Clubhouse is I was able to basically absorb everything from all these experts, and it feels condensed and exponential in the learning. So you can learn the tidbits and summaries of what these great authors and speakers like yourself are teaching. And so that's how I've been learning the most. And it's kind of like Cole's notes of audio, but that's just because of the way what I'm dealing with right now. And yeah, that's what I would say for coming to a cafe, going from zero to, a decent amount, just because I chose to go to a cafe, because I had worked originally out of my home office, but it didn't work. It was too toxic. So if I wanted to survive and thrive during this pandemic, I had to go to a cafe.
So Michael, real quick, step
Yeah.
back for a second, 20, 30 seconds, if you could tell us a little about yourself.
Right now, I mean, I would say I'm an emerging executive producer, but I'm also an artist, like I'm writing original music. So that's one of my goals as well. But I've been referring people to movie deals and facilitating these deals as well. And that's what's kind of got me through the last year.
Incredible. Thank you, Michael.
Bigger
So-
and better things to come. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I sense that as well. I think a lot of great things are going to happen for you. Michael, favorite moments at the retreat, if you want to tell us a little about your favorite moment. Obviously, meet Mark and Sharon, one of the top nonfiction authors in the world, in history, humanity. Other than that, what was your other top ones?
I mean, it was awesome. I think outside, to get out of the formalities, which was great. It was also good just to chat with them one-on-one outside, that little times we had by the patio. Outside of the mansion, there's an area where there's a pool, and there's like a patio dining room barbecue type
Oh,
place.
yeah, that place was cool.
So that place was really good to just talk and just be human and have decent, normal conversations. But I think the whole setup was great. You and Preston were amazing. So I don't want to say there is one favorite time. I think it was a whole magical weekend. And so everybody I connected with is because I had those one-on-one, face-to-face times with them personally. Otherwise, like, how do you get to know someone? How do you connect with someone like you, as an example? So I think every connection that was special, that means taking off your shades. But right now, I'm just putting that eye-to-eye contact, face-to-face, hugs, exchanging info, learning the content to help us one way or another to uplift one another to go the next step that we need in our own journey. So for me, for example, these conversations, like, I've learned from a lot of people. One gentleman told me, your net worth is your network. Write everything down on your calendar. And I summarize from that, you're one deal away from changing your life. And that's basically based on a single-minded purpose. If you have a focused vision, it doesn't mean you're doing everything towards that purpose consciously, but subconsciously, if you're thinking about that purpose, almost in an obsessive but not compulsive way, and you are taking at least one action every day, then you're going to be doing income generating activities just based on consistency, and you're going to be productive and have life-changing results. But that's basically the theme I've learned over the last 2 years.
Brilliant. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
And Michael, last question that I have for you. So you obviously, it sounds like you had great feedback, but would you go to another one of our retreats? I mean, we plan on having these 2-3 times a year or more, and just making them all like very great quality, great guests, and
Yeah,
VIP specials. What do you think?
I think absolutely. It's good for me to, like, I kid you not, and I have to commend you for this. I did have a single-minded purpose. One of my goals was to go to the Mastermind, and I had no idea how. So I'll say that for the next one. Like, I wasn't in a position when I set that goal to go. So yeah, anything's possible if you put your mind to it and make tiny steps every day. So absolutely, I think it was totally worth it. It was worth it because what I really believe is all the people that you meet, that energy uplifts you. So you're now like, you have these new expectations. You can eventually, maybe they're not at your level or something, but we all bring value. It's not about comparing. It's about what can you learn from that group and that people and that positive energy to then move forward in your own life. And so that's why these masterminds is so great, because we're learning from one another. We all have value. And if you look at everyone around you, you go, wow, if I'm here and they could do it, that means I can do something too. I got here. So just the point of being there is already like, they say 80% is showing up, but then it's also what you're doing as well. So definitely I would go to another mastermind.
And as the old saying goes, you pay attention when you pay, or flip of that. You pay, if you pay attention, if you pay attention, right? Like, so
Yeah.
what, going back to your scenario, Michael, like you actually, from my understanding, and we don't have to get into details, but as soon as you committed to the idea of going to the retreat, money started, like you started figuring out ways to get money that you probably would have never thought of before, and it started coming in. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say that. I would actually not even say that I figured it out. It got figured out for me. This universe was working for me.
Uh-huh.
And, they also say like you could get in your own way, right? So a lot of people say that saying. So it's not that I figured it out. I tapped into the flow or infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call that source to allow abundance to help me go there. That'd be better of a description because I opened myself up to it. So I was able to receive it.
And I commend you for that, Michael, not only for money wise, but you also figured out how to get there, which was another huge obstacle coming from Canada. And like, you figured it out, man. And you didn't know how you were going to do it, but you got there. And kudos to you, man, for doing all that and for saying yes, believing in us and investing in yourself. So important.
Yeah, thanks. You know what? Especially because I what I told you and Preston, like off the record, let's say, but just to get there was like I didn't know how am I going to get through to go, and it all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you, man. And any last minute thoughts before we conclude?
Yeah, I just want to thank you again. I have, I guess, a lot of gratitude. I don't want to say so definitely have gratitude and love for you guys for allowing this event to even manifest. And I look forward to bigger and better things. And if there's any way I can help in the future and help you guys make things happen and vice versa, I'm open to that. Like I really did get a lot out of it, and I'm still absorbing it. I had a lot to absorb on my way back. So like, just, life. And there is a total reason why things happen the way they do. So I believe that was, it was definitely in destiny for me to go to that event. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Michael. And I hope that you'll join us. I just got off the phone before I spoke with you with Preston for about an hour. We're planning either the last week of July or the first week or two of August. So stay tuned. We'll have an answer within the next week or two. And we're planning on going to Utah, somewhere close to either Park City or somewhere near there, like a really exclusive, nice location. We've got some big VIP guests that'll most likely be joining us too. So stay tuned for that. Love to have you there.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. And Michael, also, bonus question, being that you've been on a lot of my stages and you've got to experience on Clubhouse how many big names I brought and the way I've done things. What's your thoughts on that environment? What keeps bringing you back week after week?
First of all, I would say you and people that go on a regular basis is good. It's great, very supportive environment. And then the guests you have are high caliber, top notch, world class speakers. So, it's a combination of the environment you set. If you have a really good intention, so you're coming from the heart, you know, I know you have like this master plan for business and so forth, and you're awesome at social media and your branding, even though it's good, it could be a lot better. Okay. And I don't challenge you about that, but like, cause you're out there, you're social media hustling. I don't know what to say, but you do really well in social media. And that's not why I go. The way you ask the questions are very genuine and authentic to the people that are speaking. And you have like world-class names, even some of them I've connected with on on messaging directly to. But so you can't get that in a lot of other environments, like this platform is really good. Not only are you learning from amazing speakers, like I know you had Jay Abraham there. I think he's been on Clubhouse before. I saw him before, and I just couldn't go. I wanted to go, but you have just beyond the rest. There's a couple of other people that do have good speakers. You have them on a regular, consistent basis. You're committed. It's a Friday night usually that it's tough sometimes to attend, but I go because, like, first of all, on a Friday night you could be in trouble if you go out. But that's not the reason. I rather spend my time more productively to learn some of the top experts in the world. And what better way, I guess, to summarize is one of my strong points in learning is absorbing from audio, taking notes, and exponentially learning that way, because you're learning as a summation of a group's energy, not just the expert. Everyone's kind of summarizing it, and it's a very supportive environment to go on a continuous basis. It's almost like a school where you have guest lecturers, and you are learning from some of the best people in the world. So why wouldn't I want to go?
Yeah, it's a true masterclass. It's about 5-6 hours,
Absolutely.
sometimes more. And after the guest leaves, like you said, we're everybody on stage gets to really tell their take of what they learned and their thoughts. So we get multiple opinions from the golden panel on stage, which creates a bigger exponential learning platform.
That's right. So anybody who has not gone, I would urge you to visit once and try it for yourself, and then see if you want to stay and come back again. And the chances are you will, because it's amazing, and you can always go to the recordings, even if you're doing that differently now, Dr. Finance, like people can access those recordings of these great interviews. I know you have podcasts, and those are going really well. And there's different ways to access content of guests from Dr. Finance. Like there's the podcasts, and then there's the live interviews at Clubhouse. Plus, don't forget to read his books, which are on his wall. Very good job there, by the way.
Thank you, Michael. All right, I appreciate you, Michael. So, folks, Michael's talking about the Clubhouse stage. I've decided to continue to keep it free. I've been doing it over 2 years, almost 2 years now. And you can still go on Clubhouse every Friday night and listen to this masterclass. It goes on for about 6 hours most of the time. Not all the time. We have a main guest speaker. Like this week, we got one coming in. Okay, so if you go there, and then recently, though, what he's talking about, I moved the recordings to the club. We have a special private club now, where if you go through the Dr. Finance Masterclass Club, then you can access all these recordings in a vault. That just changed, first time in 2 years. So it's just my way of being able to continue to support the community. With that said, thank you, everyone. Appreciate you, Michael, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Dr. Anthony Criniti IV here, also known as Dr. Finance. You've been watching the Dr. Finance Live podcast, folks, the special Mastermind Retreat Edition. Check out the website, Dr. Finance. Where's it at? Right here, drfinance.info on the window. And we were going to blast this out to YouTube and 20+ major podcast directories. As Michael alluded to, I have 3 major books I wrote as a professor. My first book as a student, for finance students, about 10 years ago as a professor, The Necessity of Finance, and then The Most Important Lessons in Economics and Finance. I gave that to you, Michael, and all the attendees at the retreat for free. And then my last book you're welcome, Michael. The last book is called The Survival of the Richest. And that's a 500+ page book, really ties in a lot of the biggest arguments in sciences together. So with that said, thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe, comment, let us know if you enjoyed us. Hopefully we'll see you at the next Mastermind retreat. And thanks again, Michael. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye now.
Sounds good. Thanks.